First, there was semaglutide, under the brand names Ozempic and later Wegovy. This weight loss drug took the world by storm because of how effective it was compared to previous weight loss medications. Then came tirzepatide under the brand names Mounjaro and later Zepbound. It was even more effective than semaglutide and had less potential side effects. We've seen more developments in the weight loss drug industry in the past few years than we have seen in the previous few decades, and we're about to see much more in the coming years. Let's look into the latest weight loss drugs in 2024 that might be hitting the market soon. Right now, there are only 2 drugs, semaglutide and tirzepatide, that are approved for use under 5 different brand names. Other drugs are still in the works at various stages of development. When researchers discover a new drug, it has to go through 3 phases of testing before it gets approved. In the first phase of clinical trials, called Phase 1, researchers are basically exploring the drug. They're just checking to make sure it's safe, figuring out any potential side effects, and nailing down the right dose to use. In Phase 2, the team expands their test group to include patients who actually have the condition the drug is targeting. This step helps them to see if the drug works and gives them more info on safety. In Phase 3, they bring a much more diverse group of patients to get a solid understanding of how effective the drug actually is. They're also keeping a close eye on any possible side effects and comparing the new drug to ones that are already out there. After all that, regulatory authorities go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. If the drug passes muster, it gets the green light to be sold to the public. Cagrasemi is a combination of semaglutide and another drug called cagrilintide. Cagrilintide is an amylin analog, meaning it mimics the action of a hormone called amylin. This slows down digestion and increases fullness, thereby reducing food intake. Cagrilintide showed some promising effects on weight by itself, so it was combined with semaglutide to try to improve its effects further. Cagrasemi exhibited an average weight reduction of 15.6% at 32 weeks in Phase 2 trials. Now, this doesn't seem as impressive since the data makes it look similar to effectiveness to semaglutide, which also achieved around 16% weight loss by itself. However, the trials with Cagrasemi didn't implement any specific dietary or lifestyle interventions to achieve almost 16% weight loss, while the trials that tested semaglutide or tirzepatide alone used a strict dietary and lifestyle regimen to achieve their results. Nevertheless, Cagrasemi's redefined Phase 3 trials have yet to be finished, and approval is likely at least a few years away. Orforglipron stands out as one of the few GLP-1 pills in development, taken once a day. In Phase 2 trials, participants experience up to a 14.7% body weight reduction at 36 weeks. The Attain Phase 3 trials have commenced, so approval is likely a few years away. Danuglipron is another GLP-1 pill in development and achieved around 10% weight loss. However, its tolerability poses a challenge, with more than half the patients discontinuing treatment due to the side effects. As a result, development of the twice-daily version was discontinued. Receptors is a triple receptor agonist and targets GLP-1, GIP, and glucagon receptors. Currently, it has shown the greatest total weight loss of all the new medications, with the best responders losing around 30% of their weight in 48 weeks. However, the average weight loss was around 24%, which is still impressive. Receptors is still in Phase 3 trials, and it's being examined in the Triumph series of trials. Survodutide, a dual receptor agonist targeting GLP-1 and glucagon receptors, showed an average weight reduction of 14.9% over 46 weeks. The Phase 3 synchronized trials will commence soon and study survodutide. AMG 133, another dual receptor agonist targeting GLP-1 and GIP, is somewhat unique in that, unlike many of the other medications which are given as once-a-week injections, AMG 133 is only given about once a month, specifically once every 4 weeks. In Phase 1 trials, patients using AMG 133 experienced an average weight reduction of 14.5% at 12 weeks. Approval for AMG 133 is likely several years away though, as it has yet to start Phase 3 trials. Pemvidutide, a dual receptor agonist targeting GLP-1 and glucagon receptors, led to a 15.6% body weight loss over 48 weeks. Notably, pemvidutide also shows promise for treating fatty liver disease. However, it's still in phase 2 trials. Let's touch on semaglutide for a moment. Right now, there are 3 existing brands of semaglutide, and interestingly, a 4th one is in the pipeline. It's in the final stages of testing and will likely be one of the first new drugs to hit the market, even though it's technically the same drug as the other 3, all of which are already approved. However, the doses for these drugs vary. Ozempic and Wegovy come in injection form, while Rybelsus and the new semaglutide currently in development are in pill form. Rybelsus and Ozempic are specifically dosed for diabetes, and the new semaglutide pill and Wegovy are specifically dosed for weight loss. I'll be touching on that new drug once it comes out, so subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date. Many of the newer medications than semaglutide are designed to influence receptors beyond GLP-1. GLP-1, short for glucagon-like peptide 1, plays a key role in weight loss. It does this by increasing insulin secretion, regulating blood sugar levels, and slowing down digestion. This combination promotes a feeling of fullness and helps control hunger. Moreover, GLP-1 helps enhance feelings of fullness in the brain. Another player in the weight loss game is GIP, or glucose-dependent insulotropic polypeptide. GIP contributes to weight loss by boosting insulin production and slowing down digestion. One of its actions is to decrease stomach acid secretions, making digestion more challenging. Additionally, GIP stimulates a sense of fullness in the hypothalamus, aiding in the weight loss process. Then we have the glucagon receptor, targeted by drugs like retatrutide and survodutide. Unlike the previous 2 receptors, stimulating the glucagon receptor results in a thermogenic effect that enhances the body's ability to burn energy. However, this receptor also prompts the breakdown of liver glycogen and raises blood sugar levels, potentially hindering weight loss and impacting diabetes negatively. The key here is that the drugs targeting glucagon receptors also target the GLP-1 or GIP receptor. This synergistic approach seems to counterbalance the negative effects of the glucagon receptor, leading to improved overall weight loss outcomes. A persistent issue in weight loss efforts is that people who lose significant amounts of weight and fat also tend to lose some muscle mass. Future medications are focusing on a new category of drugs that aim to prevent the loss of muscle mass. These drugs are expected to complement existing weight loss strategies, enhancing fat loss while retaining lean muscle. One such contender is bimagrumab, an antibody that targets the activin type 2 receptor on skeletal muscles, helping to minimize muscle loss. Initially, it was studied for conditions related to muscle loss like sarcopenia. However, bimagrumab showed promise in weight loss in a phase 2 trial involving overweight individuals with type 2 diabetes. Over a 48-week period, it resulted in a reduction in fat mass of 20.5%, although the overall weight loss was only 6.5%. Impressively, there was also a 3.6% increase in lean muscle mass. This unique ability to reduce fat while enhancing lean muscle mass means it could be a useful supportive therapy for weight loss. Another contender on the horizon is tirzepatide. Oh my god, these names. Initially developed to boost muscle mass and strength in individuals with spinal muscular atrophy. This protein specifically targets and inhibits myostatin, a natural inhibitor of skeletal muscle growth. While tirzepatide is still in experimental stages, a planned phase 2 study in 2024 aims to investigate its effectiveness for obesity. In this rapidly evolving landscape of weight loss drugs, the emergence of these new drugs and innovative mechanisms shows a promising shift towards more effective and nuanced approaches. And I have to admit, the future of weight loss medications appears more interesting than ever. Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Young. What do you think about these developments? Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date. And if you found this video informative, please leave me a like and share this video with someone you know who can use the info.